Welcome to the Redwood Empire podcast. I'm here today with John Rushworth of Sparkplug Marketing, and we're just talking about Sparkplug Marketing. John, what's going on?
Hey, Phil. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I appreciate you.
No, we were just talking about, it's funny, we were talking about LinkedIn and kind of the value of video on LinkedIn because unlike natural creator spaces, which are like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, for professionals on LinkedIn, there's not a lot of people out there making video content, and certainly not a lot of people making video content about their profession or kind of how they succeed in their field or how they've come to be prominent in their field. So
yeah, LinkedIn with the recent podcast I did here, we came out with a bunch of different videos and shorts and reels, and LinkedIn has been a good place to publish those. Like you said, it's a network of professionals already there, and you can become more credible in your field and industry by putting out videos from studios like this on various platforms, especially if you're talking to professionals like those that are on LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, or even, so many people participate in like panel discussions or seminars, and they don't come away with the content. And it drives me crazy because, really it's gold these days. It's commercials that just haven't been made yet.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, absolutely. A 30, 40-minute interview can become 30 to 50 reels, shorts on YouTube, TikToks, and publish on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah. So now Sparkplug Marketing. So tell me a little bit about, obviously there's more to John Rushworth than Sparkplug Marketing. Yes. In fact, you've got a newborn, newish born.
3-month-old and a 3-year-old.
And a 3-year-old.
So preschool and then, just at home.
Yeah, it's crazy. In fact, you're not even probably sleeping much right now.
I'm okay. My wife and I have, from day one, we decided she takes nights. I wake up early anyway, so I take the boys in the morning, get them ready. And take
you got two boys?
Yeah, two boys.
I do the 2 boys 2 thing too. If I can help it in any way.
My wife appreciates those extra hours of sleep in the early morning.
we used to take turns on days. So
yeah.
So it's your night or it's my night, because there's invariably the baby's crying, and then you get to the point where both of you are like jumping up and meeting at the baby when the baby wakes up to is she gonna get him or
Exactly. So dividing and conquering that's important. We rotate every other night, putting Paxton, our oldest, to sleep. But yeah, when it comes to night feeds, she's the go-to for our youngest, Callum.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's been a fun ride, and I prefer having 2 kids. It feels more complete. I think I've always wanted 2 kids, and my wife as well. So it's really cool and special that we have 2 boys. Took us a while to get here. My wife and I have been through a lot with miscarriages and other things related to having a successful pregnancy. So 2 boys in 5 years, many tries, a lot of tears, but it's been a wild ride that we're super happy is in the rear view.
Right.
And now we can just enjoy them.
Well, it's definitely something like people take for granted too, that it's not always an easy process for everybody.
That's so true.
But for us, like having 2 was important. Like we had 1, we were probably going to shut it down. We're in our 40s by now. And then we're like, gosh, we're kind of old. He's kind of young. And so having another was kind of like a gift for each other, for them to have each other.
Yes. Oh, totally. That's how we think about it too. Especially my wife, Allie, she thinks about it that way.
It's like, all I want is for them to just be brothers, like they don't have to even necessarily like each other, although that's the goal, right?
Sure.
It's for them to be best friends, but just to have each other throughout their lives, you know?
It's special. Yeah. I grew up with a younger sister, and then when I was 10, another 3 step siblings, and it was always great having my sister when I was younger, and then my step siblings. It was very important to have a second child for us impacts in our family dynamic. So similar to what you just said.
Well, and the weird thing is it reframes, like, I don't begrudge anybody not having kids, but it's different. When you have kids, it's just a different world.
Oh, yeah. you realize you do have a lot more time than you thought pre-kids.
Oh, my God,
and
right?
Your schedules now are a little less static with the kids and their routines. But I like that. It's kind of a forcing function for me and my wife to really coordinate on things and set our schedules up for ourselves and the kids. And I like it.
Yeah, no, and the other difference is it's like I never really knew what my parents thought of me until I had a kid. And then you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that I was that important to somebody, right?
Yeah.
Or at least, not the parenting instinct, I think, varies in people sometimes. Sure. But yeah, it's just like, because my wife is like this little thing, right? She's this sweet little thing. And then after we had our first, I think it was after we brought him home. And she's like, if anything threatens that child, person or otherwise, I'll kill him.
Yeah.
And it's like, who
Animal
are
instincts,
you? Who are you?
Totally.
It's like, and I was in that bucket,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you not be going through pregnancy?
No, I mean, like if I was a problem, like,
oh God,
she's going to take me out.
Taking you out. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cutthroat.
Yeah, no, but it's like, but you get it, because now you have, your priorities change overnight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I do find myself saying things that my dad and mom said to me growing up and to my kids. And it's, I almost make it a point to just to see how it feels. And anytime I do that, I'm like, I get this surreal sensation of like, okay, wow, full circle moment. This is so special. I really need to appreciate this time because it's fleeting. I've heard from various, dads with 13, 14, 15-year-olds that's 13, 14, 15 is when you kind of lose them and they kind of look to their friends more than you in some cases.
Oh yeah, it's fifth grade.
Yeah. So wow, I have a 3-year-old, so that clock is certainly ticking.
Yeah, it's fifth grade, and it starts with they don't want to hold your hand anymore around school.
Oh wow,
it's like man.
So I needed to save her carrying my son into school.
All of it. Yeah, and then it just changes, but because you lose you lose your little dependent bear cub, but you start picking up like a friend.
Sure.
Because you start having like these normal conversations.
That's really cool.
And it's just
they have their own perspectives and
yeah, it's like, who are you? Like you didn't exist like 10 years ago,
Yeah, that's really special. It's a fun time for sure.
Yeah, and then of course we're in this screen, we're in the AI age now, which AI wasn't a thing 5 years ago. Like I'm trying to think, because when ChatGPT came out, like in an October of what was that?
Was it last 2024? Right? Last
20.
year?
I think it was 23.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was like a holy cow,
Yeah.
or holy shit. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. So they're adapting to that. I actually think your he's 15.
Yeah.
That generation's kind of in a static tech era. Think about our lifetime, right? We went from a plug-in phone,
the speed
wall, of it, to cell phones, which were also.
Well, I'm way
cars.
older than you.
Yeah.
I'm 55.
Okay.
Yeah. How old are you?
37. I just turned 37.
Oh my god.
In October. So, but yeah, no, so you definitely remember, and I remember all the evolution of tech and phones and plug-in AOL, CDs to get internet.
Yeah.
And your son has grown up with all of that already baked, and the iPhone, leaps and bounds from 2007 when it was released.
Yeah.
The iPhone subsequent updates became, everyone was special, but after the 7th update, it was kind of static, flatline. Video, the camera's been
social media now too wasn't even necessarily a thing. Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of tech advancement. I kind of feel like your son's generation hasn't seen as much, but now they are a little later. seeing, ChatGPT AI, and we'll all see what this all does to our day-to-day life.
Oh my God, it's so crazy. And so I've always kind of been, enthusiast is the wrong word, but I've been into tech, right?
Yeah.
And I see the good and the bad in it, especially with AI, because it can be fantastic and it's incredibly destructive and horrible too. It's both things.
Sure.
But with kids, it's a totally different thing. The thing that drives me crazy about the way AI has evolved, not the technology, but the perception of it, is that the developers have put I guess a human narrative to it. It mimics people.
Sure.
And chat and all this, ChatGPT. And so I know enough about programming to know that it's kind of an illusion. That's just an interface.
Yeah.
Which is natural because it's an easy way to communicate and speak, with a program, right?
Yeah.
But that it's a program, in the end, it's still ones and zeros. And machine learning is probably more accurate than artificial intelligence because it's not intelligent.
Machine learning is what's interesting behind all this, and then true AI, it learns on its own essentially and gets better over time. The AI is clearly a big marketing thing that everyone's putting in front of.
But that's
name.
the marketing thing. So, but the problem with kids, they don't know the difference.
Sure.
Right? Because it sounds like, and we're getting to the point now where it looks like normal people stuff. Yeah. And so, oh man, I mean,
deep fakes and everything. Yeah.
Deep fakes, or this character AI, which my youngest, it's you got to watch everything.
Interesting.
Wanted to try, but his friends were doing. And character AI is basically like an AI friend.
Okay.
But the problem is the company Character AI, they want users, right? They want users and they want activity. Yeah. So they're in the beginning, and it's getting better, but in the beginning there were no restrictions on topics of conversation. And so long story short is it was recommending for kids to kill themselves.
Oh God, that's terrible.
And recommending's probably not the right way to frame it. Kids would kind of go through these conversations, difficult conversations, and they would end up on a path that they were kind of curious about suicide.
Oh gosh. And
where the AI wouldn't discourage them.
Oh. Because
it's ambivalent, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not an intelligence. It's a machine learning algorithm.
Yeah.
And they're also programmed to satisfy the users. Right?
That's tough.
So ChatGPT's run into these problems too.
That's intense. Yeah. Being a father when your son is chatting with characters
and you're
that's scary.
Yeah. And so, and we're in the infancy of this.
Things we didn't have to deal with.
Oh my God. Or our parents had to deal with, it's staying out of the street.
That's the thing. Every generation, when the parents have their teens, there's a gap in just baseline taking things for granted. Your son and his friends are exploring these things that we never had. So it's such a blind spot for parents. And every generation's like that, right? My parents' blind spot initially on social media and stuff until they educate themselves. So I think there's always these threats that we're not privy to, which our kids first are privy to.
Yeah, no. And my 12-year-old's friends, he has friends who have, and not to mention the 50-year-old, who have full internet access, right? Because the parents are not, I guess, tech literate, on kind of a higher level of and the open internet is a crazy place. It's your spam folder, right? Yeah. It's your spam folder. And because of all the reinforcing algorithms of advertising and videos and, using suicide this is like the after school special. It's a very special episode of the Redwood Empire podcast. Yeah. I don't mean to go dark, but if whatever your interest is, the internet will give you more of that. And so for a teen, and teens have big questions that pop up for them, as they did when I was a teen or you were a teen.
Absolutely.
Like, why am I here? What am I doing? What's it all for?
Existential.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like every night. But I'll just say the internet will feed you more of the thing that you want to know about.
Yeah.
So if that thing is suicide, you're going to get a lot. Suicide is going to be your bubble.
Yeah. Quickly too.
Quickly.
The feeds change so fast.
So fast. And for like unfettered internet, just the idea of like porn or, like the dark manosphere stuff of like white nationalism and
sure.
It's
scary
crazy.
Place, yeah.
Well, it gets weird fast without
the checks and balances.
Without
controls on the browser,
parental controls and stuff, which are all kind of built as afterthoughts.
Yep.
Because to be honest, they cause friction.
Yeah, they want
in the money making process.
Yeah,
they want engagement. Any friction to that. So it's almost like a full-time job, just like keeping on top of the tech.
Yeah,
with the kids. And schools are. The problem is the kids are smarter than we are.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my 12-year-old's insane, dude. He's and it's like you don't even want to be mad because he's so clever to find ways around all the parental controls.
Gotta channel that energy.
I know. Well, and that's the thing. So we're like in this AI age, and it's like, everybody's telling kids don't use AI, and then you've got business people like Mark Cuban, who's like, if I had a teen, I would be educating them on AI around the clock.
Sure.
So on that one hand, it's like, don't use it. And on the other hand, if you don't know it, you won't be able to have a job. So trying to navigate that. But so the youngest, just one story, and then I want to hear how this kind of dovetails in with Sparkplug. But my youngest, so they both have music or restrictions on all their apps on their iPhones, right? And that's a whole nother thing of like decision making when to give them a phone or not.
Sure.
But the curtain comes down at 10 p.m. Like nothing's supposed to happen after 10 p.m. And then I was checking in on my youngest, and he was listening to music, and I'm like, so how are you listening to music? And he's figured out other things before, so now it's like a cat and mouse game, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, show me how you did it. And so what he had figured out is the clock app, you cannot time limit on an iPhone.
Okay.
And the clock app, you can set an alarm. And when you set an alarm, you preview it by listening to your song. So you can pick a song. So he would just go in there and to the phone, he was previewing a song. But for him, it was just a way to listen to music.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah.
I mean,
so he's good at kind of backward engineering things. Like, okay, this is how it's set up.
It's like I'm not even mad. It's like
porous holes that I can, then go into and exploit. That's good. I think it's important if you're able to, as a 15-year-old or at any age, look at something and not take it for face value. You have a leg up on the rest of humanity, because too often people take things for the face value. But if you understand whether it's a business principle and why this is happening, or figuring out why things can be exploited, it's an important line of thinking. And if he's already doing that, that's props to your son.
Well, that's kind of what you do in a way, though, too, at Sparkplug Marketing. So to kind of bring it around, the other cool one was how he figured out another way to get around things for video.
Okay.
Was and then
I'm going to try these after this.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Was that when you run out of storage on your device, you get to pick from your large files that you want to delete. And that was, again, the phone's locked down, all the parental controls have come down, the curtains dropped, and he can go to the storage in the general settings and look at what his big files are, supposedly to delete them. But for him, he could watch them. So
sure. Oh, interesting. Wow.
Insane. But so finding workarounds.
Tell Apple, right? Their next release will...
Man.
We'll stop that.
the workarounds, a lot of that applies to marketing too, because if everybody's doing like the same thing, it just, you kind of end up becoming white noise.
Exactly. Yeah. Easily ignorable.
Right. So kind of that outside the box thinking. We'll like tell the story about Lyft. I mean, when you drove Lyft, I mean, and when was that? The pink mustache.
Out of the box thinking is always good to have. It's definitely an asset. That
like how do you stand out? Right.
Yeah. So with Lyft, I drove that back in, I guess, 13, 14, 15-ish. And then, like you're saying, the SF Gate article, I was covered by SF Gate, which was cool. But basically, I started driving Lyft to make a little money, but also at that time, Lyft was only in San Francisco and LA. And I was using it as a tool to network and to pitch startup ideas. I had moved back to the Bay Area, specifically San Francisco, and had an idea that I wanted to, talk to other founders and investors too. And 90%.
So we're talking about like San Francisco, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, exactly.
So, which is such a genius, like my kids would say, it's a 10,000 IQ move.
Okay.
Of like such a hack, because the only people using Lyft at the time were like, I guess you'd say, senior kind of Silicon Valley-ish engineers up. Right.
Yeah, startup founders, investors, a lot of people who are first movers in tech are curious about tech. So it's people who are part of the same network and the fabric of tech in San Francisco. So, I quickly learned that people were asking me, what else I did outside of Lyft. And that was a great opportunity to talk about my, at the time, the startup that I was building and perfect my pitch. And man, I got tons of intros to investors, whether angel or, partners at a VC firm, and feedback on the pitch, or, hey, I have that app on my phone. And it was just an exciting time for sure. I think networking is always exciting, getting outside in the real world, outside of your desk. Obviously, Zoom is a good alternative if you're still behind your desk and you can do virtual network events. But I think in-person networking, whether it's driving Lyft, right, because the people at the time were first movers in tech, really. That was a benefit to me, but I still carry that through to today. Continual learning and networking in various capacities. It's helpful. Yeah,
the learning's kind of the tricky part too, because there's so many different things to.
A lot of noise, yeah.
To like decide kind of separate what's important and what's not.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing about in-person networking too, is it's your ability to like stand out, I guess, and really kind of, because now it's a kind of an attention economy, right?
Yeah.
And just trying to be able to like get people's attention, which is what you do, is really the difference between like success and failure in so many different ways.
Exactly. It really is. Yeah, for sure.
Which is why it's difficult too when you have kids too, because they suck up a lot of your attention as well.
Yeah. It's been a great forcing factor with the kids to build out the team and offload more and more of the responsibilities I had to others. And like you said, the attention economy, it's important for what we do every day to help businesses stand out online through digital marketing. Yeah.
So basically that's the nuts of Sparkplug marketing, is to help businesses stand out online, basically to cut through.
Or the spark your business needs. I mean, honestly, every small business and business in general needs marketing arm. Small businesses typically don't have that in-house. So we get injected.
Small business meaning?
Anywhere from, our clients range from like $350,000 a year to $10 million a year in revenue. But basically family run, one of the 30 million small businesses in America that contributes to the economy. That's what service companies, retailers, e-com, businesses that are run from typically a small team, and that's where we can make a big impact and getting them attention, whether it's social media posts or engaging an email list, ads. We're really good at ads. Almost every client we work with uses some form of ads, and we know what ad stacks work for various businesses, and the attention. Sometimes someone half a second on an ad could mean whether they bounce or not, or engage with the ad and fill out a form for a service company, or click through to explore an e-com site, or route themselves via directions to a local business and walk into that physical brick and mortar space. So it's, the attention economy is such now that people like your son and anyone looking online jumps from one thing to the next, and context switches so fast, and then the algorithms adjust and quickly show them more of those ads or different types of content on the feed because they searched one thing or clicked on one thing. And so, lots of more opportunity to serve ads throughout the internet and follow people around with a message they've engaged with or resonate with retargeting and stuff. So,
and some of the successful, because I hate, and I think of myself as like fairly savvy at like avoiding ads and that kind of things. So when somebody breaks through, I'm like, hey, that's pretty clever. But what's funny is even for kind of a smaller business like you're talking about, there are so many like good opportunities to cut through, kind of cut in line and get in front of people. And I'm trying to think. So I don't know. I'm starting to feel like everybody has that kind of game on their phone that they go to, like their go-to game on their phone, whether it's like Candy Crush or something like that.
Yeah.
For me, it's Panda Pop.
Okay.
And you can get, bonuses or whatever by watching ads or an extra life or that kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And what's funny is, and it reminds me, so this is a game I probably use every day or two to just spend 20 minutes trying to get through a level.
Okay.
But what's funny is so I have to watch these ads because I refuse to pay for anything.
Okay.
Although you're paying by watching the ad.
Yeah, exactly.
But every so often, like local ads will cut in, and it's, I think, through Google's ad system.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm just like,
Audience Network.
Yeah.
They both have their broader networks.
And even like, so, and I've done a little advertising myself, like on Facebook and using kind of, geofencing and,
Sure.
And there's, my point is like, it reminds me of the movie theater. Like when you go to sit down in the movie theater and you get the mix of like giant corporate ads,
Yep.
and then you get like somebody's real estate business.
Sure.
Which is kind of funny when you think about like a movie, a movie theater. They have that whole audience to themselves for 10 seconds. And so being able to do that like on a Candy Crush or something,
yeah,
which is,
very captive audience. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got people basically to yourself. And so that's actually available. And it's not that expensive to a carpet cleaning business.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Service companies to get, lead gen ads, whether it's on platform direct, one click filling out on Facebook or Instagram your information to then, the service provider then calls you in response to you filling out that form, or click through to a website form or a phone call from an ad. Yeah, these are all ways that service providers can stand out online.
Because it used to be the Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially that's what you do. And tell me if I'm wrong, but you're like replacing the Yellow Pages because
or complementing. Depend if it's a bigger.
I don't think are there Yellow Pages anymore, or
it's, why I think YP.com or Yellow Pages physical mailer still goes out, I believe, or you can pick it up from a local grocer. But
but does anybody use it?
Directory listings. I mean, Google replaced them a long time ago, and those ads within Yellow Pages or other legacy media like a local newspaper or national newspaper, those things typically aren't as efficient and just reinforce a brand or a message more than actually convert on a limited budget. So that's what we do is on a limited budget, you can hire us. We have our service fee, and then we'll recommend a starting budget for ads, and then we'll implement that stack of ads and scale them in a profitable way.
Because you can laser focus. Whereas before the old Yellow Pages, I grew up, I'm 55, I forget. The Yellow Pages was the only thing. Like if you needed a plumber or you needed a real estate agent, or you would go to the Yellow Pages. I mean, that was it.
Sure.
Or
or see
a newspaper ad maybe, but
or commercial, local commercial, and you're
right.
like, oh yeah, it's good to know about that.
And so if you were a local plumber, right, and what we call like hacking nowadays, the old Yellow Page hacking was to be, we're AAA carpet cleaners.
Exactly, yeah, the naming,
alphabetically, yeah.
Page.
So basically, that's essentially, but what you do for older businesses, they may think of like, oh God, the internet advertising seems like a whole different, like that's for big companies to deal with. And so for those companies who have their own departments, you kind of replace that, right?
We work with a lot of small in-house marketing teams we complement what they do. And there's collaboration that happens, or we say, you guys take this, we take this aspect of the full digital marketing picture for that business.
But instead of like one of the sales guys doing it.
No, exactly. Well, that's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like they don't even have a department,
or
they just throw it off to somebody. Yeah,
exactly. So we're dedicated to them, and we do what we do, every day in and out for that business. And when it comes to ads, making sure that they're efficient and profitable. Every channel is profitable for the business that's looking to grow through leads or more sales or increase foot traffic to their business. Yeah, it's important to measure everything. And that's what you measure, the data you get back, and then iterate and make the ad more efficient. Instead of 2x ROAS, you're getting 5x, 10x, 15, right? So then it becomes real interesting. Now, when we initially talked with a small business that's interested in doing ads, depending on the type of business, we want to qualify that they can, if it's a service company, follow up with that lead in a timely manner. We'll structure the ad in a way that they're getting consistent leads. We just want to make sure that they're following up and have a good process, a CRM in-house, and we can help them with that too, or Jonathan can. And it's important to figure out. And with e-com, it's a bit easier because as long as we set them up with a pick, pack, and ship process, they know how to list things online on their store. We'll drive business to those products, and people check out those products. And same with in-store, a retailer or any brick and mortar that's looking for more foot traffic and real customers. It's all measurable, like you said earlier, the geofencing. So we can say every month, this many people saw your ads that actually went to your physical business. And of course, like with all ads, attribution tracking, it could be a 1-day window or 30-day, but it's important to have many touch points online. And it's just, so much more trackable, measurable with digital marketing than it is with the legacy media.
So you build those funnels for people, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Build lead gen funnels or any type of funnel for the business, and then, retarget them. And, email is a great way after someone is a customer of yours, or maybe they're sitting on the fence pre-customer state. The emails and SMS sometimes can be a really good way to engage those customers and get them to repeat purchase faster than the average for a business, and get them to engage with that business faster than they would have otherwise. So touch points online are people like you and I, or anyone really online, they're selective of who they work with, who they click with. But if they're transacting with you or have subscribed, they're going to ignore emails when it's not relevant to them, and only unsubscribe when they never in the next 5 years in their subconscious mind think they won't work with you again. Then they'll unsubscribe. So, the way consumers are these days.
Wait a minute, back up on it, because that's important. So, because that's something I wouldn't even thought about, which you just touched on, showing that you know a lot about, and that is why people unsubscribe.
Yeah, consumer behavior. Yeah,
because there's things I don't unsubscribe to that in other words, I'll let them hang out in my email as opposed to kicking them out.
That's right. 15 years ago, it would have been unsubscribe, right?
Right.
Now it's not, it's different. So explain what you're talking about more. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, right. So, which is I never even thought about, which is where you live, right? Which is, there's people I let hang out in my inbox. I'll subscribe to something. I'll let it come through. I'll archive it or delete it, but I won't get rid of it, right? I won't deliberately say, don't talk to me anymore.
Sure.
And what's funny is that's still building a relationship of that cycle, right? Yeah. I get an email from, I can't think of anything offhand, but I get the newsletter, and I'm like, I'm not interested. But then every so often it'll pop into my head, I want to know about this thing. And I've left it in my...
You can search your inbox. Or
I can search my inbox and I know it's in there.
From them, you put the two and two, your thought together with what the service they're
But
offering.
what a huge difference
Yeah.
between letting somebody just cycle through my inbox as opposed to not.
It's online networking in a way, right? It is.
I mean, that's crazy,
You know, yeah, it is. And same with social media. You're not going to unfollow someone until you really aren't interested in seeing their content anymore. And it goes for businesses on
They've
social
offended
media.
me.
You know, and you see engagement, people like and comment when they're excited they just used your service and saw a post from your service account, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or other. So it can be, this is true for email, but it's also true for social media. And it's really powerful. Like you're saying, it's, you know, take offline networking that we were talking about earlier. I'm in a room shaking your hand. You give me your business card. It kind of ends there. Oh, you follow up with me. It's still going. Oh, follow these pages. Okay, I'm following you now.
Well,
So
I think the difference is whether you throw my business card away is a lot like whether unsubscribing from an email list.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. But if you've engaged with a business online, the retargeting ads can follow you for a period of time, and then you know maybe you subscribe to their email list or transact and get emails, and you're happy to. But you're more self-selecting. I'm going to engage with this email or just let it pass. Put it in the trash or not even touch it, and then go on to the next email in my feed. So, that's how social media is. So it's old school business mindset of we're still doing legacy media ads. There is with every old media thing or every offline networking thing, there's a equivalent online, and so we help businesses stand out in those new ways in digital.
Now, does that include like digital billboards? And because I know like Clear Channel and Outfront.
Just online. Yeah, we don't do the actual billboards on the highway.
Got it.
Yeah.
Which is a whole different kind of deal. You know?
Well, there's banner ads online, right? Like you said, AdSense and Meta and others put banner ads on websites.
You know what's funny too is I noticed Facebook, because I've helped out a few people with advertising in the past.
Okay.
How Facebook was getting or Meta was getting super specific. Like they want people with blue eyes who drive Toyotas to where you could serve your ads. And then they've kind of backed off that a little bit. I think they.
Yeah, I used to be able to serve an ad to one person. In 2013, 14, 15 era, like that, I was able to literally upload.
So I think the guardrails were off then.
One person, and just they see an ad. It's like literally call me. I want to consider you as an investor.
Oh my God, have you watched Pluribus yet?
No.
There's a moment like that in Pluribus's new Apple TV show. No, but like the old Facebook stuff, you could advertise just to employees of a specific company.
Yeah.
That if they had put in Facebook that I work for Sparkplug Marketing,
you can find them.
You could have a campaign specifically to those people.
Yeah.
Is it still? I don't think it.
You can get focused. Your audience can't be one-to-one.
I think they dialed it back.
Yeah, exactly. There's requirements for lookalike audiences, custom audiences against an uploaded list, or just finding people. It's a few thousand or more, but it used to be literally I find this one person, I'm going to serve them an ad until they call me or something. Me and other people at the time were doing that. It was a different time, but that's the thing. I've been in this for a long time, and I'm continually.
Well, it changes every week,
and evolving and
because it used to be like keywords and hashtags and your SEO and SEO obviously used to be everything, and now it's one of.
You have to be doing other things, but there's complementary thing, right? Like doing long tail
synergies
SEO is good, but then that'll take some time if it's a newer website to get indexed and to the blogs you post to be indexed. So do ads complement, and then the types of ad stacks we use too complement each other, and help different campaigns learn faster because we have multiple ads on the same platform running. And it's helpful to know these things to really help small business. So there's no chance small business owners or most even startup founders or bigger companies know all the nitty gritty details of how to create a proper ad campaign.
Well, and once they do, it's already
teams can do it if they're a big enough company to have a team to support it, because that's all they think about. That's all we think about.
That's all you think
about.
And
how we can help other businesses do this.
Because the cycle keeps getting faster.
Yeah.
It used to. In other words, a strategy would be good for 6 months.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not
all
anymore.
about the data and the feedback and monitoring campaigns, and when things take a turn for the better or worse, why? And then, okay, let's put more resources here. Let's A/B test, iterate this. Let's create a few more campaigns and kill these off. It's an iterative process.
Well,
It takes a lot of babysitting.
right, because everybody's trying to hack the algorithms,
Yeah.
right? And then all the providers, whether it's social media or Google or everybody else, is trying to prevent people from gaming the algorithms.
Sure.
And so the cycle of like having, basically having an advantage, being a card counter in advertising as opposed to being, just sitting down at the blackjack table, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a casino, right? Meta and Google are ads networks or casinos. So if you think about pulling up to a poker table and putting your money down, the odds are against you. And that's true if you don't have the expertise we bring to the table.
So you're like my
business owner.
You're like my friendly blackjack dealer.
Yes, because we'll help you read the cards. And honestly, because we read between the lines of the recommended campaign settings for most small businesses are benefiting Meta and Google because they're ad revenue companies. They want more revenue. Some of these campaigns might work a little bit for you, but you're wasting more than you're gaining in a lot of cases. And that leads to the small business owner having a bad taste in their mouth. Oh, we tried, ads for a few months, a few $100s and didn't get anything.
Because Meta knows ads. They'll know how much money they can get from you too as a small business. Like they know how much your average small business plumber is willing to spend on an ad campaign and what they expect in return.
And they know other similar businesses and the cost per conversion, cost per click.
It's like a restaurant serving fish. Like sometimes, they know that they got to move the fish, right? And it may not be what's best for everybody, but that's what they've got to sell.
Yeah, they don't necessarily understand the budget of a small business. And
Meta doesn't care if your campaign is successful. They're concerned about getting what they consider X amount of dollars from a plumbing company.
Yeah, you get impressions and clicks, great, but did you get business from it? And unfortunately, those platforms don't know that maybe a small business will stop with their platform and advertising after a couple of months if they're not seen enough. And sometimes they know this, so the platforms, the first 6 weeks, they give you some credits, they juice your campaigns, and then when you get into the normal billing cycle, they throttle down a bit. And now,
they're so smart.
The
companies they're so good at what they do.
But also, like a lot of small businesses stop advertising on their platforms because they're not seeing results, because they don't know the small business is thinking, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000 in 2 or 3 months, and if I see nothing, I'm stopping, and it may be abruptly stopping too because they're angry that they've wasted money and haven't seen results. So I don't think that Meta and Google and these other ad platforms take that into account as much, because that's why we see so many small businesses saying, honestly, I don't know if I want to do ads. Even though if they're the perfect small business for ads and we have lead gen funnels that we can plug into that type of business and they'll see success, then they trust us and we're holding their hand and we do it for them, and we gain that trust and execute, and then they see results. They're like, oh my gosh, I just couldn't figure it out myself. Well, because all these automatic upsells are happening when you're in a campaign creation stage that are benefiting Meta and not taking into account your limited budget, and they're exposing your ad to too many people and not enough of the right people.
But they don't care.
They're getting money.
They're getting money.
Yeah.
It's like how, speaking of Lyft, right? How Lyft and Uber kind of attract new drivers is they'll incentivize people to be more successful early on if they're focused on retention, or they'll increase the bonuses to attract new people.
Sure.
And it's just kind of they know they're like, I hate to say it, but like everybody's kind of like playing their game.
Yeah.
And your job is to like play the best odds.
Yeah, help small businesses win.
Right. Because if you're not
the stacked casino.
Yeah. If you're up against the pros, right, which is Meta
and all your competition that's spending more than you really need to know how to leverage these tools, Meta ads, Google ads, in the right ways.
Well, the other thing is it's just a certain necessity too, because in the past it would be unthinkable for somebody's small business to not be in the phone book.
Exactly.
Yet so many people are not advertising online because it's like daunting, or they feel like they need to hire in-house.
They haven't done it the right ways. They have bad taste in their mouth. Exactly.
But it's crazy to think there's probably so many businesses not advertising online other than like, I've got a web page.
Yeah, exactly. You need to push traffic to the web page.
Right.
It's not just
it would be like not being in the phone book.
Yeah, exactly.
30 years ago.
Totally. You have to
just
participate.
Unthinkable.
You have to participate in Google ads, right? I mean, ads bring in new customers, they bring in new subscribers, and that's super valuable. So if, I acquire a customer for whatever, a plumber or a painting company for $30, then maybe 30 leads come in a given month, half of them convert to an in-person walkthrough or proposal, and then half of those convert. All those that didn't convert, that's still cost for that 1 month cohort, and that inflates the cost of the converted. But then quickly, those people, when they reuse your service or repurchase from you because of an email, because of a retargeting campaign, and your usefulness, you'll see, okay, that 1 month cohort over a year, 2 years, 3 years, okay, the lifetime value is 5 years of a customer. They repeat 3 times a year for 5 years. That initial cost, even considering all the spend on people that didn't convert in that single month period, you're making money hand over fist. So it's that mindset that, whether a business owner knows it or not, that will make them successful. So that's where we are, and our line of thinking is, cohort analysis and all of that to really justify spend.
We're hip microphone friendly.
Oh, perfect. Love it.
No, that's a whole nother AI thing. I think in the future, like, AI is going to be so good at like making content like this that you won't know if it's real or not. And I think the real is like the stupid human stuff. Sure. But just listening to you talk about like ROI, it just makes me realize just how little, because everybody thinks they know enough about something to be dangerous, right? And how little, like, I know compared to you, and how you would, and I consider myself to know a little bit about the algorithms and SEO, and you would crush me.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. We're focused on this all the time, and we should be the best that we can be, and better than any business owner that's running a plumbing company or painting company or any other business that's not digital marketing. We're a microservice provider. We plug into the business.
Oh my God,
drive success.
I'm reminded of. I don't know why. I think in like metaphors.
Okay.
And part of it is like the old Western, like one of the themes of old Westerns would be like the rancher would bring in the gunslinger. Like if one of the locals got too good at like the quick draw or whatever, they'd bring in the gunfighter.
To challenge them.
Right. Or to just like hire their expert, you know?
Exactly. It's important these days.
And it's like, oh, you thought you were good? Well, here's my gunfighter who's like really good.
Yeah. I mean, you start a business because you're an expert in a field, and you need to stick with that and understand that you should hire other service providers that help you on that mission of being the best plumber, painter, whatever it is in your field. And you focus on that. But, you hire a marketing company, you hire a CPA, and any of the other spokes in the wheel hub that support you being the best version of yourself to grow your business. If you don't think in that way, you're just going to work in your business, be a single or really, really small team, one person doing all the work, or a small team where you can't get out of your way and you're doing admin. And instead of, if you want to grow, got to delegate and hire out a lot of other microservice providers to do, the job that one person can do, but they're not going to succeed on their mission of being the best plumber, painter.
And so you've trained up a team now too, right?
Yeah. So our team handles digital marketing tasks, as well as another team that does some sales and outbound, lead gen, basically.
Awesome. And then
lead servicing, which too
kind of gives you some dad time.
It does. Oh, it's so helpful. Like I said earlier, it was a forcing factor. Okay, now I have 2 kids. I really need to delegate and grow this team in the right way, so I'm not stuck working every day in my business for the clients. But don't get me wrong, I'm still, making sure that our team is performing where they need to be. And anytime there's new learning that can be had, I educate them on here's what's new and what we need to be doing, and refocus them on this or that for the output that we want to give our clients. And so it's, I'm doing most of the intake calls with prospects and onboarding them, and then, delegating to the team the work that gets done. But I'm checking on the work, and we have other people on the team that check on other people's work too.
Well, and
layers to it.
And I forget where I heard it, but somebody said, like to be really good in business and efficient in your delivery of your service, like you need to be doing the things that only you can do on your team, and then have your team doing the other things, which makes you that much better.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And building it up in a way where I can leave and step out of the business and it still runs on its own. That's, I think, a way to check, am I doing the right things, making the right step toward, okay, I can leave on a vacation and nothing breaks, it's all running properly, or I can, that sort of thing, or I can, sell the business and the assets are there and the people are there, that it's not dependent on just me.
I was looking at the intake form, like one of your favorite podcasts is like My First Million.
Yeah.
Right. What do you like about My First Million?
Yeah, I mean, I met Sam.
I'm not a listener.
Met Sam in San Francisco in the Founders Dojo, just first through networking, and then we came together in the same office space of founders. And because I know him, I follow what he's doing, and because the algorithms at play, I get recommended things. So yeah, that podcast and channel can be inspiring. And I used to watch it a lot more than I do now, because 2 kids, more focused on my business than ever, in terms of I have limited time. But it's inspiring content. You can take bits and pieces of someone they're interviewing, whether it's a founder of a company that does $2 million or a billionaire. There's bits and pieces you can take as inspiration or apply to your situation and yourself, which I find to be helpful. Podcasts, business podcasts in general, can be inspiring. And that's how I look at it. Other people might look at it as a daunting hill to climb, and depressing. These people are so far ahead of where I am now. But no, it can be a motivating factor. But yeah, you can.
Well, it's a big world too.
Yeah,
like there's plenty for everybody.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much opportunity.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Which is funny because you're talking about the in-person networking, and I didn't appreciate it at the time, but I had a couple friends that were working out of Keller Street Co-work in Petaluma, a co-working space, and there was so much like networking going on there,
and learning. Learning happens in an environment of a co-working space or an incubator. Y Combinator, 500 startups, which we went through. It's not this company, but a prior company. I went through it, and they already have the baseline that's elevated from someone starting in their basement type of thing, or starting out of their house. It's hey, because we see 50 companies every few months come through here, we know these are the tech stacks you should use, or this is, so it elevates your baseline, and then from there you can build faster, and then share best practice. Hey, I like this software. I like how this campaign's performing, and that cycle is sped up, and it helps you learn faster and grow faster and be better, basically.
Right, and so to the point too is you're out there doing that networking. Yeah. Knowing kind of what the latest trends are, that kind of stuff. Because if I'm using the plumber analogy, I'm plumbing.
Yeah, exactly.
What I mean?
You're busy plumbing or managing.
Like, how am I going to keep up on SEO and what's hot in online marketing?
So our nationwide network we're running campaigns all over the country. We see, service provider in this space, in Arizona versus California. What's working, what's not. But in aggregate, we do see trends, and we're able to help other businesses that we're already working with and new ones that join us that are plumbers in other non-compete areas, succeed because of that aggregated learning. It's huge value.
Because the other problem is like Facebook, Google, all them, they'll find people will exploit certain practices, and they'll just turn it off overnight.
Sure.
And that could look like an outright ban or suspension of an account or that kind of thing. And so for people not current, like what was working yesterday may be considered a suspendable offense now.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Or different industries you can't be too targeted.
I've just remembered in the past of campaigns getting locked.
Oh, I know.
And it's like,
That happened with one of my buddies, again, in the Founders Dojo, Moyes. couple times his Meta ads account, or at the time Facebook, Instagram ad account, kept getting banned, and he was selling deodorant online, but there was no reason. They just maybe it was an automatic flag that banned his temporary suspended his account, but he had to get on the phone, stressing out, losing it,
but not knowing how to deal with that. It's like, forget it, because especially Meta, they don't care.
You had to find people on LinkedIn that worked in the department and
no kidding,
just like DM them. That's how we got over a lot of those things. And I still have friends at Meta and Google and other, and I'm able to give some feedback. They give me feedback on how campaigns are structured or can be benefited.
Fucking crazy. So just old fashioned networking.
Yeah, 100%.
So
finding.
So you're bringing value. You're not just bringing your knowledge as value. You're bringing like John.
Yeah, exactly. And my network and the people that I know at these, at Google Ads and Meta, and the inside track and being, an approved partner of these platforms helps. But like you said, knowing the people
that too
through networking over time is super helpful. Like I can text them like this, and then literally this has happened where, I know this campaign's fine. It should not have been paused or stopped or flagged, suspended, whatever. And then he's like, oh, you're right. Okay, give me a day. And then a day they release it instead of it being.
And it's just that simple for someone. It's easy for them. It's not even work to like flag it to a department to move you up the stack of reviews.
It's an internal employee flagging it, and it expedites it. And they just forward me the chain between them and that department, and it gets resolved quickly.
Which is hilarious because, I think of like politics right now. Like it's super hot right now for people that can get access to the Trump world.
Okay.
Like setting aside the politics of it, like the difference between a tariff or not is like someone saying, oh, John's a good guy, don't tariff John or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. The sweetheart deals.
Yeah.
That's always been the case with presidencies, but this is just such a public display of that.
Like Finland's like, we got to find. So what's funny is you get all these second and third tier kind of people who have like limited access of like selling that big time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
which, honestly, for certain businesses, is the difference between being a business or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Knowing how to navigate the red tape or whatever in the right ways.
Being able to connect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Well, John, can't say enough about Sparkplug and your expertise and being a father.
Yeah, likewise. Congrats, 2 boys that are growing up. I'm just starting this journey.
Yeah,
I'll ask you some questions later.
Yeah, totally.
I do not envy your situation with your 15-year-old and all the different online stuff he's up against. That's tough.
Actually, I think AI is going to help.
Yeah,
that's going to be one of the upsides of AI. That's a whole nother subject. But if you think about like all the awful things on the internet,
way more good things because of it. And AI,
filtering, filtering, because like right now on YouTube, people are trying to upload the worst things you could possibly imagine video wise. And right now, when it gets flagged, other people have to go watch that.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
And say, is this a kid's video or is this, like a jihadist video of a beheading, know? And it's awful. And so the speed of being able to like get the junk out too.
That's good. Great point.
Yeah. Is going to help.
Instead of a real person reviewing a 20-minute video that starts the first 10 seconds with a friendly cartoon that then becomes some kind of a cult.
Or who knows what. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
No,
anyway.
AI will be a big benefit once we're
all working for it.
It's a super early days.
But all right, John.
Thanks for having me on, Phil. Yeah, I appreciate you.
We got to do more.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, later.
Thank you.